everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Welcome to E Squared. Thank you so much for bearing with us through these technical difficulties. We don't know what happened, but we're here, and that's all that matters.
We are here.
Yes. Thank you to Professor Reicher, who was dealing with the issues in here. We're so glad that we're on the air for you today, because we did not want to skip E Squared. We did not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Anyway, as you all know, we're going to start off with our Big Time Rush song of the week, and this one is one of my sister's favorites. This is Show Me by Big Time Rush.
And that was Show Me by Big Time Rush.
Welcome back to E Squared, everyone. We are so glad that you're here with us today, even though we had a few minor technical difficulties, but it's all good.
We still have time.
We do still have time because we have a very special guest here with us today. We have Azure Kai. Oh my gosh, please tell me I got it right. Did I pronounce it right?
You got it right.
Yes! Thank you. Oh my gosh,
welcome
I'm so
to
honored.
the show.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, how are you?
I'm great.
Yeah? Wow.
I don't know.
That's so good to... Oh, it's okay. Sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes we don't know.
I don't know about my flow.
Yeah. Wow. Truer words were never spoken. Anyway, we're so glad to have you on the show with us today. Maybe you could just kind of give some background information on yourself, like who are you, what are you doing here at Monmouth University? Tell us about you.
About me. I'm a student at Monmouth University, pursuing studies in English, creative writing, concentration, but also like doing other minors. Like right now I'm doing management, but I'm also doing like computer science and communication sciences. So like 3 minors. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have a lot going on.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh well, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyway, so we have you here today because you are a musical artist that we know through our very own Blue Hawk Records. So all of the things that you just listed, I didn't hear music in any of that. So I would just love to know what brought you into the world of songwriting and why you're interested in what you do.
That's a good question. I'm going to need a moment to think about it.
Take your time.
Okay, I have my answer.
Oh, perfect.
So part of like what's interesting about songwriting is the process of writing, the process of creating your own song, finding meaning in story, and doing your best to get your point across. Like, what type of story do I want to tell? It's like you as the artist have like the authority to construct whatever world you want and what world you want your audience to be a part of. So for me, I like to focus more on like the silly stuff that's going on, because I think, yes, in life there's a lot of serious stuff going on, like college is something pretty serious, but like on the side, there's also a lot of silly stuff going on. There's a lot of, I have like so many friends that tell me funny stories of stuff that happened in your life, especially when they were kids, and it just like really stood out to me. It's just like no one writes songs about the funny stuff. Everyone likes to write songs about breakup songs and like lost love, and when that is equally true and valid, I feel like there's another part of life that people don't often get to see told through stories, and one of them is just the comical aspect, the comedy. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I noticed too that you were featured on, since Monmouth University has this here, we have Blue Hawk Records, which works with like House Music Academy. I did see that you were part of some albums. Which ones are you part of, and like how did you get there?
Oh yeah, sure. So last semester, this was actually a song that I was working on with Max Adolf. He was my producer. Originally we were, honestly, that song was not even like at the forefront of my mind. When I was making the song, I didn't even have the lyrics. I wanted something to have like a cool swag beat, like something Michael Jackson. One of the songs that was out there in one of his posthumous albums was Hollywood Tonight. And what kind of caught me at that song was the beatboxing as the instrumental. And then after that, the bass comes in, and then all these other instruments combine and create some sort of musical landscape that kind of like, hooks the audience in. It's like, oh, this is a bop. So I was thinking, like, how do I best replicate it in a way that's not totally copycatting, but in a way that's being resourceful, like taking stuff that artists already did and just making it my own. So like examining like my personality and that type of vibe, I'm known to be like the prankster or like the jokester. So I kind of took a twist on traditional Michael Jackson songs, which are all like, hype and swaggy, and kind of made them still have that hype swaggy beat, but having comical lyrics instead to substitute with like the more serious stuff. And then once Max made the intro, like the first 30 seconds, I was supposed to do like an original beatboxing thing, but then the beat was, she was like, oh, what else sounds like that? Like, why does that sound so familiar? And then at that time, I just came from a train ride. So I went from Secaucus to Long Branch, and then from Long Branch I got an Uber down to Max's studio. So as I was like thinking about the sound of a train, I was kind of matching it to the beat. So when I put it all together, I don't know how I did it, but like I put it all together, it was like so I kind of like looped it. I did a couple of takes. I saw which one worked best, and then I looped it. I made Max loop. I was like, can you like just loop that into the beat? And then when he looped that into beat, I kind of felt the funk and the sway of things. And I was like, you know what? Let's make a song about being on the train, bet. Yeah. And then so the entire song was basically about a person that's trying to write a song on the train, but keeps getting distracted by all of the other things going on in the environment. Mm-hmm. Some of them not being entirely realistic, because one of the interruptions involved the train conductor staring at the person, and then another sort of distraction would be an old lady tripping over a goldfish. So that was one of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did include some realistic scenarios, like for example the thunder and the rain. I kind of incorporated those sounds in the background, and I also had a lot of screaming to demonstrate the angst of not being able to write a song because the environment is being too distracting.
Wow.
So I kind of added some screams and more screams and some like background noise of people talking, because that's what happens on a train. Like no train ride is like completely silent. There's always like an old lady complaining to someone next to her, or like an old lady saying shut up to like a baby that's crying because the old lady's trying to sleep and the baby trying to cry. So yeah.
Oh wow. That's really fun to know, like the backstory of all that, and how you kind of just throw in like random stuff that kind of makes it realistic and relatable while still being kind of silly. Mm-hmm. Your style is so unique. So when you started songwriting, did you have any like nerves going into it, knowing that your style just kind of like it's not the norm, but like in a great way? Like it's just something totally fresh and different. Like how did you feel kind of exposing your artistic style to the world for the first time?
I actually didn't know I had an artistic like style within me. Originally, when I was writing all of these songs, I was like, okay, I want this song to sound super hype and badass, so the lyrics have to be swaggy and badass, and they have to sort of mimic the artists that I look up to, that have that, that swaggy kind of type, like Chris Brown, Michael Jackson. Y'all know them. They can sing. They have like high vocal range. They can dance. They can do all that stuff. So I kind of like really looked up to them with regards to how I wanted my songs to go. Although like the one main thing I learned when making my songs was that I can control how the music is being produced, but I can't control the lyrics that I write down on the paper. Because the moment like that happened, I was like, wait, this sounds something like a Michael Jackson song. And then I started becoming sad because it wasn't what I wanted it to be. Uh-huh. But at the end of the day, like one thing that stood out to me was like, okay, no matter all these songs that you're trying to write songs that like sound like Justin Bieber, that sound like Michael Jackson, that sound like Chris Brown, and it ain't working. I guess maybe I should just, try to see what comes to mind without trying to sound like, or trying to stop my mind to sound like one specific artist. So I just kind of like let all that go. Mm-hmm. And I kind of said like, it really doesn't matter what the song ends up to be. I just want to finish it.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Yeah. Because I have like all these ideas in my head, but all these ideas are gonna stay there, and I'm gonna forget about them. So what's more important is that I just get it written down on paper, so that I can like totally see like, okay, is this a good idea or not? But the first and foremost, like what I learned is just write, just finish the song and then go back and judge it. So yeah, I've learned that, and the sooner I've learned it, like the easier it was to actually finish the song. So from there, I haven't really had any writer's blocks. I just grabbed the notebook, I just kept writing. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. I know how hard it must be to sit on an idea, especially because like if you have a lot of ideas in your head and you never write them down, you might forget them. So it's always important to write things down. And I know how good it feels to have like a finished song, or at least something like a song, just sort of like at least a structure to something. And not just sitting on it and waiting. So I mean, definitely like you definitely have not had writer's block. Like I can see it because you've just been like pumping out all these really cool ideas, like the Cake Pop song. And
I was about to ask about that.
We're gonna take a little break and listen to it right now.
Boy.
This is your most recent single, correct?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So everyone, this is the Cake Pop song by Azure Kai.
It's about cake pops.
And that was the Cake Pop song by Azure Kai. Welcome back to E Squared,
Welcome back,
everyone.
everybody.
We're actually in the room with Azure Kai right now. We are doing a little interview. So talk to us about the Cake Pop song, your most recent single. Where did it come from? Just give us the story.
So believe it or not, the entire story is set during math class.
Ooh.
And yeah, they're characters, okay? Like none of this is real, but I kind of like made this up in my head. They're in math class. You know how in classes like back in middle school you have like a seat partner or like a seat buddy? Yeah. So my main character Kyle Jaquez has a seat buddy named Kira Dubois. Her full name is Kira Irene Dubois, right? And he's like literally head over heels for this girl. Like she's so hot.
Aww.
Yeah. So she's smart, she's beautiful, and he's not really that smart.
Aww.
So he feels like she's like out of his league, because of her hotness and eternal beauty. So he kind of like disguises his crush for her by kind of annoying her during class. Because he wants to get her attention. Like he'd tap on her shoulder and ask for an extra pencil, and he'll be holding one in his hand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he'll probably think about it for like the rest of the day, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh
And
my
then
gosh,
when
she looked at me.
Yeah. When she gives him her pencil, he's like, oh, I'm never washing my hands.
Wow.
So from there, yeah, and then like eventually there's gonna come at a point where Kira is just like kind of like lashes out on him for irritating her so much during class when she's trying to focus. And that had to be on the day of I haven't decided on the story like when it would be, but it's either Valentine's Day or her birthday.
Okay.
Probably her birthday, when she gives out cake pops to the entire class, and she doesn't give Kyle one.
Oof.
Yeah.
Everybody's supposed to get one.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
hurts.
And Kyle's like, Kira, I think you forgot about me. And she's like, no, I didn't. I just chose not to give it to you.
Oh no.
So he kind of writes like this whole song, or sings this whole song.
Wow.
in discreetful agony for being denied a cake pop.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
He's like, I was just trying to impress you.
Oh, what a tragic backstory.
Very tragic backstory. And he's also crying. So if you listen to the song again, you can like feel the sense of pain and agony, and you can like tell that he's crying. He's been crying because he's been denied a cake pop from the hottest girl in class.
Oh, so this story, did it kind of just like, did it come out of thin air, or is it like inspired by something? And also, how long did it take for you to kind of develop this backstory? Because it sounds pretty detailed.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually part of a very, very long short story.
Ah.
It's very long, yeah. A lot of things go on in this very long short story.
Is it like a short story like through your music, or just like a short story you made up? Or like a real short story?
It's a very long short story that's probably going to end up to be like a novel or something once I finish it.
Oh my gosh, so you're writing a novel.
Yeah.
That's
I love
great.
that.
So like all of my songs are going to be a reflection of what goes on in that very, very long short story.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So how
Same
long have you been
characters.
working on the novel?
The novel? Since the start of last semester, I was taking intro to creative writing class with Professor Thomas.
Oh,
Mhm.
fun!
So from there, he kind of gave the class a lot of flexibility on what we could write about, and one of them was a short story, and he said you can write about anything. So
Wow.
I in the spur of the moment, I just chose to focus on something relatively silly yet important in our lives, because all of us have been to middle school, all of us have been adolescents, and all of us have been considered crazy at some point. So
Yeah.
all of us have done some things that we regret looking back, but like at the time it's like, oh, I'm part of the cool kids. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool. So we have to wrap up in a little bit,
Oh,
but just one more question for you. If you have any advice for aspiring songwriters out there, what would you tell them?
Ooh, that's
I know
good
it's a heavy question.
Yeah.
Advice, or like maybe what you wish someone had told you when you started songwriting,
Mhm.
or maybe
Hmm.
what you've learned the most from, I guess, being at Monmouth and being a
Oh,
songwriter at
oh.
Monmouth.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I'm going to give a definition of a story.
Ooh.
My definition. I could be wrong, but I could be right. So it's up to you now. A story is a narrative of either lived or shared experiences by the author. What do I mean by that? I mean that you could have experienced something happening to you, like bullying, for example, and then use that as a tool to create your own story about the bullying event that happened to you. Or you can create up like your own characters, your own world, your own plot based on something that is real. So what I'm trying to say is that what pertains to my story, I did have experience of growing up as like an adolescent, but the personalities that each of my characters have are all fictional.
Mhm.
So I kind of worked with them throughout the process to like make them sound normal, right? But when you have like this discussion with them and you see all of them interacting in one room all together, you're like, oh no, these characters are not normal. So it's probably a very like bad explanation, but that's, if you ask me this in like another year, I'm pretty sure I'll have a more in-depth answer to that,
I
because
think
I've
that's a good
only
answer.
released like 5 songs, so I wouldn't be able to give you a succinct answer to that question.
It's an
but
evolving definition.
Yeah.
It is an
An
evolving
evolving
definition.
answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you so much for being on the air with us
Yes.
today and for doing a little interview. This has been really fun. We really appreciate you being here today. And for having us listen to the cake pop song and everything. Oh my gosh. Everyone, check out Azure Kai's music everywhere. Do you want to plug your socials real quick?
Sure, yeah. So I got my main social right now that I'm using is Instagram. It's at @theashzing. So TheZing, and then you can just search up Azure Kai on like YouTube, Spotify, and you'll certainly get it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, go to the Instagram bio, click on the link, and you'll see my Spotify.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again,
Thank
Azure
you.
Kai.
No problem.
And speaking of Blue Hawk Records, which we mentioned before, we are doing a little giveaway with all
Yes,
of you
we are.
listeners, followers, all of you people out there. You can enter to win a CD for Blue Hawk Records' most recent compilation, Exit 22. You can also win a Blue Hawk Records t-shirt, and then you'll also get an E-Squared sticker.
Yes.
So those 3 prizes will go to a winner of the giveaway that we're hosting. It's going to be posted on our Instagram. Definitely check it out. Our Instagram is at @E_WMCX. Anything else you want to say about our socials, Emily?
Yes, and on our Instagram, you're going to find our link tree. And so the link tree can bring you to a Google form if you want to be on here, if you want to sing, have an interview. Then we also have Facebook on there, our Twitter, YouTube. Instagram's already up there.
Yep.
I think that's it. Yeah, we have Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram. Yeah.
Great.
TikTok. I can't forget. Yes, TikTok.
TikTok. Check us out on all of our social media. Make sure you're up to date with what's going on.
Give us a follow.
We have a great semester ahead. It's already off to a great start. Definitely
Absolutely.
check out our show from last week. We were on the phone with Stephen Kramer Glickman, who played Gustavo Rock on Big Time Rush, and he's going to be here at Monmouth University this Friday at Pollock Theater, 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:30. So definitely, if you love Big Time Rush, or if you just love comedians and having a good time, definitely go see Stephen Kramer Glickman this Friday here at Monmouth University. Do we have anything else to say, Emily?
I think that's it, but
I think that's it.
We won't be okay after Friday, though.
Oh
I
my
know
gosh,
that.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Well, anyway, thank you everyone for listening today. We will see you next week, Tuesday from 3 to 4 here on WMCX. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great night.
Ka-chow.